All right, gentlemen, compensated pistols are everywhere right now. And depending on who you ask, they're either the future of shooting or it's just a gimmick that you don't need. Today, I'd like to talk about what this gun does well, pros, cons, kind of all of that sort of stuff. Before we jump too far in, I'd like to thank some supporters of the channel. Kimber did send me this gun for free. No money changed hands. They don't have any talking points or expectations for the content, just that I deliver a fair shakedown of what I actually think about the gun. DK Mags are a gun store, but they've got everything a gun guy could ever want. Use TKM5 on their website or in person to save 5%. For ammunition, you guys should go to Buffalo Creek Ammo. Use code TKM5 to save 5% off your order there as well. And if you need bags and other cool guy stuff, go to Eberl Stock, use code TKM10 to save money. All those links will be in a little landing page down in the description. In addition to the disclosures here, O-Sight sent me their optic. This is the O-Sight C. So this is a big boy gun. The first thing my wife said when she saw it was that is obscenely large. And I'm like, yeah, I get that all of the time. Maybe not actually. However, the 2K11 comp with its 5-inch model, they do have a 425 out as well. But honestly, I'm glad I got this one because I've already had experience shooting a chunk port styled compensated 2011 via my Prodigy. So I'm glad to have some diversity here. Big diversity guy. Obviously all of the same benefits, features, and pros of the 2K11 that Kimber have been doing for the past over a year. This is a pinnacle of what they got to offer, especially in their double stack lineup, and it really shows once you get behind it. On paper, it's a very compelling package. They spared no expense to really put thought and intention into the design overall, aesthetics as well as feature set. And for what you're getting versus what you're paying, I think we're getting very close to kind of what you can do to maximize that. The intent is extremely obvious. It's to get this gun as flat as possible, as quick as possible, as repeatable as possible. Get you that custom staccato XC experience right out of the box for almost half that price. Talking impressions in the hand, the gun feels very nicely. It sits very comfortably. The texture is almost perfect. It's really like unassuming, and when you grab it, when you rub your hand on it, it's like that doesn't really grip you all that much. But when you're behind it, it's very easy to maintain control and have a good purchase throughout many strings of fire. Not sure how it would feel with gloves on because I didn't shoot it with gloves, but at least to the naked hand, it feels very well, very good. And then kind of talking more about the design of the gun, you have the lightning cuts, which the non-comped models have as well. In addition to it not being like an island style comp where it's something affixed to the end of the gun, you don't feel an extra mass or a lower dip with added weight just because it's milled right in, integrated quite nicely. Comparing it to my comped Prodigy, this is by Skip's Guns, it's his Plague comp. I thought that the size of the comps were significantly different, but I think it's just because of how the slide has been cut. It makes it look bigger, but I believe when it comes to the barrels, the size of the comp is really quite comparable. With the gun, presentation feels extremely natural, points very predictably as a 2011 should. They didn't do anything weird with the grip angle or how the gun sits in the hand. Sticking to the book, which, if you ask me, I want it to be familiar, especially with a gun that has magazines that are cross-compatible with other 2011 style guns. Speaking of, I did run the gun with Springfield Prodigy magazines, which aren't technically like Springfield magazines. I ran it with Staccato magazines, and I also ran it with the Kimbers. No malfunctions throughout the entire 300 rounds that I've put, 300-ish rounds that I've put through it so far. And I'm quite pleased with that because with the Kimber KDS9, I did have malfunctions. The CDS9 didn't give me any issues. Those are the Kimber guns that I've shot so far, but I kind of was expecting a little bit of a break-in period, perhaps with how the gun cycled, extracted, and fed rounds, but nothing. So let's talk about the positives. The gun, the compensator works, guys. Now, I haven't shot the uncompensated version. I want to be careful with how much I'm glazing. I think that this is the flattest handgun that I've shot. The biggest thing that you do notice is that the quicker your follow-up shots are, the more you feel that compensator working. In single fire, the gun is extremely controllable and flat. It's heavy, it's got the comp, there's a lot of mass here. Doing doubles and doing like a bill drill just felt absolutely insane. I think with the bill drill, my problem was getting to know and understand the trigger a little bit better. But when it does come to the trigger, the gun is extremely, like, very little take up, super crisp take up, I might add. And then I believe it's a 3-pound pull. It feels like 3.5. And reset is very positive and not actually all that weak. So Really nice behaving trigger. Honestly, I know we're talking about different price points, but way better than the Prodigy was out of the box. As you can tell by my smile, the gun is just inspiring to shoot. It is so much fun to take to the range, and I will absolutely give it that. Talking about cons, I think a lot of these are gonna be pretty obvious, and mostly due to just the need that this gun aims to serve and the kind of person or the kind of role it wants to play in a collection. Obviously it's big, it's heavy, so you could absolutely carry it, go Nightwood gun style, carry a full-size 2011. I'm not gonna be doing that, and that con aids into as to why it's like so nice and easy to shoot, easy to control, but then that weight is something you have to carry with you physically when you're not shooting the gun. I suppose the additional length makes it a little bit less predictable or more of an intentional movement to get out of the holster, up and online, as well as getting back into the holster. Not a massive thing. Next, again, this is not an inherent problem with the Kimber gun, is that the muzzle blast from the compensator, it's gonna be louder. It's gonna be more concussive. And I feel like I blink when I shoot guns inside, typically. I blink every time I shoot when I shoot guns inside that are compensated and ported. The only chance that ironically, I don't know how or why that I can do it. The only chance I have to not blink is when I like really lean forward into the gun, and I don't know. That's just something that I need to work on, but just an observation I've made when it comes to shooting indoors as well as ported guns. I think I just need to incur more hearing damage and hearing loss so that I don't have to be scared of the little bangs. And so obviously this is not a do everything pistol. This is not a Glock 19-esque. This gun serves its role of target shooting, range fun. I would even say like nightstand or home defense gun. It serves that extraordinarily well, if you ask me. I think in the realm of, is this a duty gun? I mean, sure, no one's looking to be dropping their duty guns. I don't need a duty gun because I don't have any duties. But I would definitely say that despite ports and compensators being so alluring and attractive, if you're not shooting fast enough, if you're not shooting confidently enough with a non-ported or comped gun, like just the 2K11, this gun's not gonna be like a 50% bonus increase, change your life kind of deal. I will say out of all the handguns I've shot, I don't really feel like connected with that many in terms of when I'm behind it, I feel like the gun is a part of me. This gun, despite it being comically large for how small I am, really does connect with me. Last con would be that the internals, kind of the heart of it, are metal injection molded, which are inherently a less robust way to create small parts than things like using tool steel. However, all the parts are mated up, hand fit, and this gun does have time, care, and attention to it. The tolerances are really nice, like the slide to frame fit and wiggle is very, not unnoticeable, but like for this price point, it gives you a slightly better feeling than one might expect. And this is an interesting gun to talk about value about, because at this price point, expectations would be high. You're getting a lot for what you are paying for, especially when you look at the 2011 world and kind of what prices versus performance and items that you get with a gun of this caliber, not literally caliber, but you know what I mean. You are getting a lot of value despite this being Kimber's like flagship gun. Really do like the external extractor. I think that is the way to go. I think 2011s just from here on out need to just be that. You don't have to futz with tension. Shot the gun both with and without a light, the TLR1 HLX, and it did make a slightly noticeable difference. And likely for a gun like this, you'd probably be running it with a light, I would assume. I think it fits me very well. I think it suits someone like me very well, someone who's willing and interested in training regularly. Of course, you do need to train with a gun that you carry. However, this is a fun gun to pick up after you're done doing your time with your carry gun, and you would just want to have fun and let loose a little bit. Someone who wants to like maximize performance out of what you can get in a handgun, flat shooting, fast shooting. The group sizes were very impressive to me, even at like 10 yards, shooting relatively quickly and not necessarily paying all that much to like my fundamentals and marksmanship. I think if I benched it, I would be very impressed. And with the performance of the red dot, I like the O sight a lot. It gives you that Holosun 507 comp kind of footprint, size, and feature set. Not every feature, for a much, much lower price. And it looks great on the gun. I think it just really complements the overall look. I'm gonna keep putting rounds through this thing, keep getting to know it more, keep putting it in the hands of other friends. This is exactly the gun that I was looking for, that I've been waiting for. and I think that you guys have knocked it out of the park. I would one day love to compare it to something like the SIG 211 GTO, something in a very similar price point with very similar features as well. So that would be very interesting. Also would be fun to compare it to like an XC and see just how well this gun can stack up to others in higher price categories. I really do think that Kimber is doing an incredible job of making other gun manufacturers pay attention. Like this is a serious weapon at a very reasonable price, I might add. And yeah, again, thank you to everyone who was willing to make this happen with the optic, with the gun, with the ammo, all those kind of things. Not lost on me how lucky I am that I get to do this, but I also just want to value your guys' trust and your time. So thank you for spending the time with me. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and remember to live a life worth defending. We'll catch you in the next one.